Right, so we're going to look at some quick fire questions. Whoa, not with you. Let's get rid of you. Right, first question. What is 5 squared? Second question. 2 cubed. Third question. A half times 3. Nope, we won't do 3. We'll do 6. 4. 1 quarter times 1, so that's times 1/5, right? Now try this one. What about 3 times 3/4? Right. Number 6. What if I said, what is 2/3 plus 1/6? Let's do that one. Number 7. 1/2 minus 1/3. What if I said 2 minus 1/5? What if I said, what if I said 2 divided by a half? What if I said, last one, what if I said 2/3, just say divided by a third? Right, try those. Okay, so let's go through those. So 5 squared just means 5 times 5. That little 2 is the index. It tells you how many times to write the 5. And 5 times 5 is 25. Right, what about this one? 2 cubed. Let me get that. 2 cubed. Okay, so it means 2, 2, 2. So we 2 3 times. And then we multiply them. You have to multiply them. That becomes 8. It is not 6. Don't fall for that trap. Right. Now with this one, a half times 6. You can do half of 6. So look, this times isn't off. Right, half of 6. The answer is 3. But I just want to show you, you can do it this way as well. Half times 6. What I do is I divide the 6 by 1, so it becomes 6/1. It is exactly the same number, because 6 divided by 1 is 6. How do you multiply fractions? Straight across. Numerator times numerator. 1 times 6 is 6. Denominator times denominator. 2 times 1 is 2. Now this is an improper fraction. Why? Because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So what I do, I ask myself, how many 2's are there in 6? There's 3. So the answer is 3. Let's move on. Let's try this one. Okay. This is a fraction. Straightforward, no-brainer. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 5 is 20. It's 1/20th. Straightforward. Same thing with this question now. 3 is the same as 3 divided by 1. I've now got two fractions. 3 times 3, numerator times numerator is 9. 1 times 4 is 4. Now I have an improper fraction. An improper fraction. So I want to work it and turn it into a mixed number. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, how many 4's are there in 9? I put fraction line there. there's two 4s because it's 4, 8. Right, put the 4 at the bottom, and my remainder goes at the top. There's one remainder. So I've got 2 1/4. 2 1/4 is equal to 9 quarters. Right, let's keep moving on. Right, you know, with this question, there's two ways of doing it. If you notice straight away, the 3 and the 6 are related because I know I can turn this 3 into a 6 simply by doing times 2. Whatever I do to the bottom number, I do to the top number. Whatever I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. So now, if you look carefully here, I have got 2 times 2 is 4. That's 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. And then I've got this plus here, plus 1/6. Now listen carefully, because the denominators, these bottom numbers are the same, I put that there. And then I do 4 plus 1, which is 4. Now I can simplify it or write it in its simplest terms. So I know the top number I can divide by 2, the bottom number I can divide by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my answer is 2/3. No, what the, I can't even count, my goodness me. Did I just do that? Right, I'm gonna have to step back. I'm sure you caught that. Let me just write this. I'm gonna leave that there. Right, I don't need to do this, and I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this. What have I done wrong here? I was that busy concentrating on something else. It's 4 plus 1. Right, so I need to remove that. Let me delete that. And put 4 plus 1 is 5. 5/6. That is in its simplest form, so I can't do it with it. Right. 1 second. Right. What I can do with this one, if the denominators are small, I'm going to use this method. I'm going to use the upside down picnic table. And then the dotted line goes last. So each one of these steps that I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply. So just remember, it works for plus and minus. It works for adding and subtracting. So I start my journey, let me get that. If I start my journey here and I walk across from left to right, these two numbers are multiplied. So I'll do 2 times 3, which is 6, fraction line. I'm stood here, I'm going to walk across that way. 3 times 1 is 3. You've got this minus, and then I do 2 times 1, which is 2. So now I've got 3, take away 2 is 1. That's 1, and then 6 goes at the bottom. That's 1/6. Right, there's a few ways of doing this, but let's just do it the normal way. So 2 is the same as 2 over 1. And now I'm going to use the upside down picnic table. It's upside down picnic table. That's this method here. Yeah. So my first step is fraction line. 1 times 5 is 5. I'm stood here. I'm going to walk across that way. So 5 times 2 is 10. I've got a minus here. So I'm going to put a minus here. Subtract. And then I'm going to finish it off this way. 1 times 1 is 1. 9/5. Right, this here is an improper fraction, I want to write it as a mixed number. So I ask myself, how many 5s are there in 9? There's 1. And then remainder, and the remainder goes at the top for 1 and 4/5. Right, this is the one that's keep, flip, and change. This is how kids remember it. It's not a problem. 2 is the same as 2/1. Right, so what you do is you keep the first fraction, this fraction, the same. You have to keep it the same. Yeah, we'll do it that way. There's different ways of looking at it. I'm gonna flip the second fraction, and then I'm gonna turn this divide into a times. There you go. So now simply multiplying two fractions, you multiply straight across, 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1. Anything divided by 1 is the number itself, so 4 divided by 1 is 4. Right, let's do this last one. Keep the first fraction the same, so that stays as 2/3. The divide turns into a times, and we flip this fraction over, so it becomes 3/1. Now it's a fraction, you multiply straight across, so it's numerator times numerator. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. Now this is an improper fraction. I'm going to turn it into a mixed number. Okay. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. And that's it. I'll leave some questions if you want them. Okay, so give these a go and see how you get on.